Imagine what our electoral process would be like if a candidate had to win 51% of eligible voters to win, not just of actual votes. What if not voting was still a meaningful vote? The cynic in me knows that if that were the case, there would simply be even more felons or more avenues to restrict voting rights to the poor and marginalized even further. But let's pretend this particular thought experiment takes place in a better reality than this one. That would mean politicians would be incentivized to make sure their constituents were registered to vote and were able to go out and vote. It would undercut voter disenfranchisement as a campaign strategy. Candidates would have to run a campaign that actually attracted voters. That would mean politicians being more open to widely popular policies, because they would need to excite their base more than they would need to appease their corporate donors. If null votes were taken for what they are, a vote against both candidates, and seriously included in the electoral process, we would be one step closer to a functional representative government. I prefer this to the often suggested mandatory voting. I want the pressure to be on politicians to effectively represent us, earn our support, and make sure every person can easily cast their votes, instead of putting pressure on poor people to pick the least objectionable choice or pay a fine they may not be able to afford. Because that's just our exact same system, but with more fines for the people being failed by both parties.